I've seen the videos of seaweed and algae bioilluminate during certain times of the year. I think I've seen the videos, I think it was either San Francisco or somewhere else, where they would go play in the ocean and this algae would like bioilluminate. I'm like, oh my god, that is so cool. It's like being in some kind of like Avatar type of world. And that's what Avatar is. It's like taking specific things like those anglerfish that are at the bottom of the ocean and they have a little lantern in the front to illuminate their way to look for the food and everything. That's a type of biochemistry that is made for adaptation, to adapt to their environment, right? Because they're in such a dark place like the Mariana Trench. Okay, and so this algae that bioilluminates, I'm not sure exactly what's triggering it, but some type of algorithms in the matrix of their universe has caused them to bioilluminate at certain times and at other times not. Okay, just like the fireflies. When fireflies are in the mating season, that little bioillumination of them trying to get a mate, that's just part of nature, right? And so that is a reflection of your environment. If you happen to be exposed to an antibody that was made from like a virus protein from, let's say, the firefly, or let's say from that algae that bioluminesces, to where now you have an antibody that has a bioillumination programming, and then that gets applied, you get exposed to that, or it's been injected in you, or you get exposed to somebody who has an antibody that holds that, and that's used as a type of cryptocurrency, a biometrics type of thing. And let's say you do the J juice and you're releasing excess, you'll still hold that imprint. Okay? You will still hold that imprint. It's not going to work against you. It's just now you're a reflection of the environment. So let's say that at some point they do use some kind of biometrics, whether it's the iris scan, whether it's a fingerprint, or who knows what else they're going to use, whether it's some kind of tattoo. I mean, who knows what it is? You can call it Luciferian, you can call it satanic, okay, whatever. You can call it whatever you want. But that's based upon perspective. Okay? So if you hold some kind of new genetics where there is a bioillumination type of programming within your body, big freaking whoop. It's not going to cause anyone to be diminished in their body, mind, and spirit only if you have an imbalance already attached in your programming. You can't release any excess antibodies. You haven't dealt with your predispositions. So, of course, yes, any type of new programming, your body is not going to take to it. And maybe you'll adapt to it for maybe 20 or 30 years. And that's why people are so afraid, because they don't want to die. But they're dying anyways because they haven't really adapted to their environment. And they don't like the fact that there's going to be a new way to do transactions. Already we're using the credit card as a representation of how many chits you have in your bank account. If you only have 200 chits, then you can only get things that are, up to $200. If you have 10,000 chits in your bank account, that would translate into a type of currency like US dollars or euros or pesos, then that's what you're going to be using to then go and buy things. And if you're not earning more chits, then you will have to go and find a job or something to give you more chits on a continuous basis. And that is directly translated to your ability to produce or your ability to qualify for any type of government program to give you free chits. Nothing's for free in our society, just so you know. There is nothing for free in our society. So your fear of biometrics attached to, or your fear of biodata, biometrics attached to cryptocurrency is unfounded. That's another conspiracy programming that makes you think that you're part of some kind of, death agenda, violating your soul agenda. No, your characterization of a soul is based upon somebody else programming you to think that no change is the very essence of a pure spirit. I'm sorry, but change happens all the time. Adaptation happens all the time when the environment changes, when the rules change, when, your company changes. You're going to have to adapt to it. And so any fear that you have is based upon obviously your fear of adaptation. You don't have what it takes to adapt to any type of change in our society. But I know that, at some, that's why they're eradicating the currency. Now it's turning into everything is virtual. And then the whole thing with cryptocurrency, yeah, that's just, these anarchists that say, "Oh my God, now we have to get rid of the U.S. dollar and switch to the cryptocurrency." They're actually promoting this untraceable type of dollar that people are used to, a tangible thing where they can do things under the table, where they can make money under the table and they can take the government out of the mix. They don't have to pay any taxes on it, whatever. And that's the whole point. That's the reason why they're getting rid of the actual tangible dollar, where it then is now virtual. And in the cryptocurrency world, people say, "Oh, it's untraceable." Bullshit. Nothing is untraceable. They can find, they have forensic type of accounting where they can trace dollars and cents through the computer world, though it may be a little bit harder based upon the different um, uh, virtual, or what do you call it, virtual private networks, VPNs and things like that. But nothing is completely 100% untraceable. There are footprints that you leave behind, but a very advanced computer hacker would know the different things. But not everybody's like an advanced computer hacker or can afford to hire one. And then when the government finds out who these advanced computer hackers are, they hire them, pay them a shit ton of money to then tell their secrets. And some will still turn state's evidence at some point if they get caught. Okay? They start working for then, the government versus working for the criminals that are trying to hack the system. Okay, so we are going into a very different society where, yes, it's more control, but then people cheat all the time. Well, the government should not be taking this much of your taxes and this. Well, I'm sorry, but you have an infrastructure. Taxation without representation. That's why we turned from that's why we turned into Americans, because they were taxing us, and then freedom of religion and that wasn't allowed back in Britain, and why we had 1776. So that way we can have freedom of religion and taxation without representation. I mean, whatever. But whatever. I mean, you're not going to not be able to survive in our society. There is going to be a balancing force. And your fear of biometrics and survivability and biodata and all this other cryptocurrency, oh my God, that's the archaic fear of fear of extinction. And if you don't understand how things work, then you're going to fear the worst, because that's already in your DNA, is the worst, because it's been programmed. We have all these people who are all these spiritual people and all about the soul, and they're so pretty, and they're looking for purity, and nothing is pure in this world, right? Everything has been influenced or tainted by something or something. Now you have to balance everything out. But you're programming, thinking that having no change is the only way to be. That's called the stagnancy program. When you have no change, there's no such thing as no change. Either you're going to degrade or you're going to upgrade. But there is no inertia. You keep going the same way, this on an indefinite scale, and then you have countering forces. Okay, so you have Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So there's no such thing as no change in our society. There's no such thing. Things change all the time. If you can adapt to the changes, whether it's crypto data or whether it's currency, tangible currency, if you can adapt to that, and you always find some kind of satanic agenda, always find some kind of negative attribute to whatever changes, then you have a lack of adaptability. Lack of adaptability. And it could be cryptocurrency, it could be vaccines, it could be, I'm telling you, I'm tagging this lady Bronny, and maybe she might listen to this, maybe she won't. But I'm telling you, every single time I mention something that she has a fear of, I'll find, okay, then I'll say, well, I don't have a fear of depopulation, I have a fear of cryptocurrency. Well, then I'm like, I take the argument, dismantle her argument. She'll find something else to say, well, it's not that really, it's this. Oh, well, really, it's not that, it's this. And I'm telling you, people who have issues with adaptation will have a list of things. But they're all connected. They're not disconnected, but in their world, it's all disconnected. So if it's not vaccines, then it's depopulation. If it's not depopulation, then it's cryptocurrency. If it's not cryptocurrency, then it's, GMO. If it's not GMO, it's, I don't know, 5G. It's not 5G, it's chemtrails. And if it's not chemtrails, I'll tell you what, the list will be fucking endless. But I want to allay the fears around cryptocurrency and biometrics and the bioillumination, or what they call the Luciferian mark of the beast. Right, change is the only thing that's constant. Okay, so I'm going to take the fear out of all of that because I know those are one of the major things. But am I going to keep feeding in and trying to convince her of every single freaking fear that she has is completely unfounded? No. But those are the two things I want to make sure that you guys understand because it helped me understand the whole depopulation is a significant reduction. It's not extinction. And so any fear that you have, I don't care what it is, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's GMO, whether it's 5G, whether it's chemtrails, whether it's, hell, I don't know, another country, it's all unfounded. It's all unfounded. It's just a representation of your imbalance. Any fear you have is a representation of your imbalance. Now, if you are going down the street and there are people that are strangers you don't know, then you should have a healthy amount of fear to keep you safe from someone that has nefarious intentions. But if you're in your home, away from the force, in your home, behind all of your walls, behind a lock key and a gun or whatever else you have, and you still have fear, and you're projecting that all over Facebook, now you know you have imbalance. But if you have no fear walking down the street in a really bad neighborhood, and you have no fear of strangers doing nefarious things, and you don't have any kind of self-protection, and you're walking in the middle of the night, in the ghetto or wherever, you have an imbalance. But if you're home safe behind your computer and you project fears out there, you have an imbalance. All right, have a good day. Bye.